Hey there everyone, how's it going today? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, and today I have a brand new Marin Kitagawa figure to unbox. Oh, what was that? Oh, you think I have a Marin problem, don't you? Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a problem, I guess. As you can see, I have quite the collection already. I even have some spoilers that I have yet to unbox, but today is the Marin Kitagawa 1/7 Babydoll version by Aniplex. That's the focus of today's video. These other two will be unboxed at another point. I don't know when I'll get to it, but sooner or later I'll have some free time to do some older figures that I haven't been able to open up and check out and review. So let me clear this army of Marins and then we'll jump into the unboxing. All right, mess finally gone. Not going to tell you how long that took to put them all back where they belong. It took a while to get them to fit where they were. We got there. All right, so back to the figure at hand. The baby doll version of Marin Kitagawa by Aniplex is the figure for today. This has been one that I've been looking forward to since, well, obviously since announcement. I don't even remember when that was. Whatever. It's been a long time. That's all I know. Anyway, super anxious to get in to see how she turned out. The promo pictures have always looked so great. I've been following this since all we had was the concept art for it. And then we had the unpainted prototype and the painted prototype. And finally, after I feel like years of waiting, it finally came together. And she's finally here. I got her from Good Smile Company Global. I don't know what I paid, all things considered, for the cost of the figure. Shipping was $18. That's the only thing that I know. And then the good old tariffs kicked in. I haven't had to pay too many tariffs yet, but if things don't change there, we'll be continuing to pay those, and that really sucks. But that's the only downside I have for this. Let's crack this box open and see how she turned out. So I know she's already out of the box, but I completely failed to even say my thoughts, feelings, and whatnot on the box itself. I think it is a very pretty box, full of pastels, pinks, flowers, you name it, it's on this box. It actually fits in really well with the other Aniplex ones, specifically her swimsuit one by Aniplex. I feel like this box kind of has similar motifs in its design choices, if that makes any sense. But yeah, gorgeous box all around. I love how small the box is. Like if you actually order this from another Japanese retailer like Ami or Nin Game or something where they ship based on size, weight, all that stuff, I feel like her shipping wouldn't have been too bad. Who am I kidding? It'd still probably be crazy, but maybe better. Who knows? All right, figure unboxing time. Ooh, can't wait. All right, start with our base. So there's some plastic on the base here. Hopefully it'll focus. There's like plastic all around where the pillow and the base come together. And I'm not really sure if it's just supposed to... Oh. Well, there's my answer. This does actually disconnect from the base. The base itself has two metal pegs. So two metal pegs on the base and a nice fluffy felt finish for her to sit on. And surprisingly enough, I actually didn't expect this, but the pillow has a huge metal peg on it. I kind of thought that she would just rest on this thing, but apparently she gets firmly planted on. She is well wrapped. There we go. Oh my God. 100% worth the wait. Oh, she looks so good. So on her back here, there's a huge hole for that metal peg on this heart-shaped pillow to fit into. Kind of a shame that it has to be like that. I wish you could just kind of pose her and put her wherever you want, maybe not even use the base. But if you did that, there'd be a chance for this massive hole to be seen. All right, so second step of assembly after you get the plastic out from underneath the pillow is just to put her into this hella massive metal peg. She ain't moving. Is she supposed to fit snugly onto it? Because she doesn't really go all the way in. What? Okay, so it does actually fit snugly in. I definitely recommend taking the pillow off the base first so you can get some proper leverage, push from the back here, and then she will eventually fully cement in, and the hair will rest on the pillow like it's supposed to, all those things. And then you can just put this right back on. Ta-da! So, I mean, I guess you could technically put her anywhere, since the heart is, you can take her off the heart. And she barely even touches the felt base. Yeah, you could definitely just uproot this pillow and just put her in a display if you didn't have room for this oval disc. I think that would be totally fine. You could even just buy a little thing of cloth to put underneath her to kind of ensure that nothing happens. But I think you'd be fine either way. But yeah, here she is, all set up, all put on the base, and all I can say is wow. Just beautiful, beautiful execution. Now, before we jump into the figure showcase, I have a question for you. Do you like the figure showcases where it's just various shots of the figure with music and, timed cuts to the music and stuff? Do you like that little isolated showcase of none of me, all figure and whatnot? Or would you prefer kind of like how I did my last haul video, because I didn't want to have a big, huge showcase video when I have multiple figures going on, where I just had little mini showcases where I was still talking about the figure, but I had little mini showcases with some lower music kind of towards the end as I'm finishing up the review portion, and then it would go to the score. Let me know which style you prefer. An integrated showcase or its own isolated section of the video. I'll probably do an isolated section for this one for now. All right, now that we've discussed that, let's jump into this figure showcase in 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, welcome back from the showcase. Hope you enjoyed that one. Let's go ahead and jump into the review portion of the video today. Let's start with the base. I think the base is good. It's big without being too big. It basically doesn't go too much further out from this extended foot, which obviously is in the air. It's not touching anything, but it kind of aesthetically looks better if, the entirety of the figure has something underneath it. So for aesthetics, I think an oval like this works. I am glad that it's an oval instead of perfectly round. It would make it so much wider than it needs to be. So it does have a pretty good form factor to it, in my opinion. I do like that this pillow is removable from the base. I think that's actually a huge selling point, because if you're limited in space, you can ditch the base entirely and just plop her down. Like I said in the beginning, maybe put something underneath if you want, but I think you'd be fine either way. Not much really of her touches it. Really, it's just the pillow that's touching the bottom. And then this felt fabric is really nice. It's very soft to the touch. It doesn't come up. Like I've had felt bases where you just rub your finger like this and little pieces will start coming out. That is not the case here. And then the second part of the base is, of course, her pillow, her big heart pillow. Really well detailed, really well shaded and painted. Really awesome crease work that they put into it as well. So yeah, the sculpting, painting, shading, it's check, check, check for me. Something I'm really liking about this is this headpiece. It's like a partial veil, but the actual piece itself, the decoration, really cool for something so small. Like there are a couple flowers on it and like they're pretty darn well detailed. Everything kind of has that pearlescent kind of look and color and sheen to it. I think they did a phenomenal job with the headpiece on this one. And I really like what they did with her hair. Her hair is draping all over her arm, the pillow, just a lot of little detail was put into the hair, and I do think it turned out really well. There's great shading. It has that classic ombre from the like blonde down to the pink tips. Lots of individual sculpted strands that they did. And yeah, just the sculpting and paintwork is pretty stellar. I really like how they did her face here. It looks just like her. It's like the smallest amount of blush. I wish that's like that in terms of sculpt work, it looks just like her. I just wish that the blush, which is there, is super subtle though. And I feel like maybe with a figure like this, a little stronger blush would have worked out pretty well. But that's such a minor nitpick, and it's not something I'm really going to be, focusing on and noticing. But it's just something that caught my eye. Something that they did here that they haven't done in their other two figures is they did glitter on the fingernails. I remember when I did the Max Factory review that one had the fingernail glitter on it, and I think Aniplex took note because both of theirs had the pink nail polish, not the glitter. She got the glitter. All right, they finally did it. And for this particular figure, it makes so much sense for them to have done that. So good on them that they did do it. And I just do like how the hands are sculpted too. The peace sign, just classic Marin. And there's just like a really good amount of detail in each finger. So yeah, hands really good. The jewelry, like the rings, really good. And then speaking of kind of jewelry and accessories, she does have some earrings in. Far less than traditional, but definitely some dangly earrings. And I think there's like one that comes up through here. That one's still there, but it's not like her ears aren't chock full of earrings. But even though you can barely see the other ear through the hair gap, there is still the earring and everything. So good on them. They are different earrings, like I said, though. They're like little off-white pearlescent globes. They fit the figure very, very well. And then just the last accessory is her choker. Again, just lacy, pearlescent, shimmery. Now in terms of her outfit, so her top and bottoms, they follow a very similar design scheme. So I'm just going to talk about them in one. So they... All right, for her actual outfit, they didn't do much in the shading department. They really rely heavily on the flower decal work here. So the whole outfit, like the primary portion, is that kind of off-white. And then the flowers are done in like a shiny paint all throughout the top. And then the lace work, like the trim, is all kind of a semi-clear, transparent plastic to simulate that kind of lacy look. And it comes together really, really well. But it is definitely relying on the patterning instead of shading for the actual outfit. And then for her bottoms, it's a very similar idea. Same color, but there's no like flower work with or any print work or anything. It's just a lot of lace. This time it's kind of like two types of lace, where you have that transparent plastic right around the edges, and then like her actual like bottoms have like a lot of lace work that's different. I'll show you in B-roll and pictures and stuff of what I mean. It all definitely still looks good. It's just not really any shading going on. Now where there is shading is on her skin. So her skin definitely has pink hues, you know, where there are joint bends and stuff, and where clothing meets skin and stuff like that. A really big standout one for me are the tights or her leggings here. When it gets to the point where it gets to the skin transition, it is like a little pinker right around the edges from the the constriction of the tights. Just kind of moving on to the tights, very shiny. This is where they put all the shine. So much pearlescent paint used on the leggings, but the leggings actually do have shading on them, which I'm very happily surprised about, because her legs are such a prominent feature for this figure. They're up in the air, just really in your face. So yeah, the leggings do have shading. It's mainly this like off-white cream pearlescent paint, but then there's some like pinks and purple hues throughout, and that kind of helps bring, you know, the color palette of this figure together, because there's a lot of like, even this like these like lacy parts are somewhat purpley toned. They're mostly just clear frosted plastic, but like almost with like a purple tone to it maybe. It's really kind of hard to tell, but it's definitely bringing in like the pinks and the purples of the pillow. Shit. All right, and the last thing I wanted to touch on, and really the only last thing to talk about, is the shoes. And those heels look so nice. I love the glossiness of them and the designs. There's like heart and ribbons, and like this nice light pink. I mean, sorry, I know my colors. It's a very light purple, almost like a purpley pink, I guess, actually, but definitely more leans toward the purple side. All right, scoring time. Ooh, I thought a bit about this. I'm having a really hard time coming up with a score, because there's the score that my heart wants to give it, and then there's the score that my analytical brain wants to give it. The critic brain, I guess you could say. And 99% of my reviews and scores, I pretty much stand by them for the most part. Maybe there's one or two that I'd be like, oh, I wish I gave it a different score. And at the end of the day, it's me with a figure for like 20 minutes and then judging it and giving it a score. It's kind of silly, but we love attaching numbers to things. So personally, I want to give this figure a perfect 10 out of 10. And I'm kind of wrestling with that, because she's not like perfect, but does a 10 out of 10 need to be perfect in every way, shape, or form? Or does it just need to be perfect in your eyes? It depends on how you want to look at scoring the figure. So for me, my incredibly biased opinion is she's a 10 out of 10. Gorgeous from pillow to toe. The base is nice. She's beautiful. The craftsmanship on it's really good. The paint work is really good. I didn't have any, the only like small things I had was just like the clothing, like her top and bottom, don't really have like shading going on, but they are still well done. Like they're still painted well for the color that's there. The decal work is applied. I don't even know if they're decals specifically, but the pattern work is applied perfectly. Like mine personally has no issues in terms of quality control. So my video, my rules, she gets a 10 out of 10. Alright, that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for joining me on this review and unboxing video. This was one that I've definitely been looking forward to for a super long time, and I'm so pleasantly happy with how she turned out. Be sure to drop a comment down below letting me know what you think of this figure. Marin is like best girl right up there with Asuna for me. So also let me know, who's your best girl? If you enjoy the videos I'm putting out there, please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Any of those YouTube things to help me out with the algorithm is greatly appreciated. But hey, tuning in today has been awesome, so thank you so much for that. I'm gonna go try and find space in my Marin shrine for this one more figure. I don't know where I'm gonna put her at all. I'll try and figure that out, but that is my own problem. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you in another video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Why do I have so many fucking issues opening this?